story back. Let's continue. For all who have waited, let's learn about Samuel and his journey to find David.
So off to Bethlehem, Samuel went to find Jesse with a flask of olive oil and a heart kinda heavy. He feared Saul would kill him. He was feeling the pressure, but God told him don't worry and to take him a heifer. So Samuel met with Jesse to anoint a young boy, a promised king from God to bring Israel joy. So the boys lined up, one after another, to discover the chosen of all of the brothers. One after another, they all failed the test, but there was another brother not aligned with the rest. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. Then the Lord said, anoint him. Oh, what a surprise. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. This story originally gave truth to it all. A man named Goliath, see, he was a giant, and the armies were scared and very defiant. So one day while David was bringing food to his brothers, he heard sounds of fear and weeping of others. Everyone hid, but he chose not to hide, with a slingshot, a stone, and God on his side. For Saul's army, David won them a battle, so he went with Saul without any hassle. Fight after fight, David got really good and was doing the things that the king wished he could. Remember Jonathan? They became best of friends and promised to always be cool until the end. People were singing and others were shouting. Saul killed his thousands and David 10,000s. Then David married Saul's daughter, and oh was he zealous. But he had no idea that old Saulie was jealous. Things were getting ugly and getting really bad. See, old King Saul had started going mad. Saul had a plan to kill David at once, but his great pal Jonathan had helped him a bunch. So off goes David, cause Saul wants him dead. And Saul told his army, now off with his head. Now out in the wilderness is where David hides. That doesn't stop Saul though, cause he knows where he resides. Now David saw Saul, but he had no strife, instead had compassion in sparing Saul's life. Oh, remember Samuel? Well, yeah, he often died and was buried in Ramah, and everyone cried. Then David was challenged with a man with much pride, but his wife interceded, for he almost died. 10 days later, the Lord took the man's life. Nabal was dead, then David married his wife. With his back turned, David saw his old friend, slipped over Saul's camp, and yet spared him again. Now David did something that seemed quite alarming. He went and he joined the Philistines' army. Meanwhile, the king went to talk to a ghost, and Samuel replied, yeah, now you're toast. Philistines' rejection, but remained undefeated. God really blessed David. Now, could you believe it? Irrational in battle, another king falls. Sadly enough, that king's name was Saul.